Let's go. I'm Christopher Pitt, and welcome to the Pursuit to Own podcast. At Pursuit to Own, we are pursuing ownership at every level of life. Whether it's mindset, business, life, or real estate, our goal is to get you from renting to owning your future. See, I felt the pain of poverty growing up as a sharecropper in zip code 27843. I understand the struggle of living in a one-bedroom shack, owning nothing, not even running water. But I turned that pain into purpose by becoming a premier affordable housing community developer, providing 27,843 ownership opportunities in marginalized communities. Here's the truth. Ownership starts in your mind, regardless of your situation or location. Whether you are escaping the poverty trap, buying a home, or starting a business, the Pursuit to Own mindset is the key to unlocking your zip code and success. Join me to discuss new innovative ways to own real estate with tokenization, blockchain, crowdfunding, fractional ownership, and so much more. Let's go. All right, welcome guys. Now we have a great one today. Today we are doing real life training. Like we're talking to an individual that I have seen a lot of great pursuit elements in already about attacking homeownership and what it means to really be after it, and she has been willing to go through this process with you and me, right? So it's all about who can we help behind the Aaliyahs of the world. I'll let her introduce herself in a few minutes, just nothing too much, but what we're going to do is really try to document her journey. She's starting off from the beginning because it's important for people can see that a person in her, particular situation, just starting off trying to figure out how to put the pieces together to home ownership. Once they see people like her do it, then they encourage other people. It's hard to show people what I did years and years ago. So it's just more me talking. I can show evidence, but nothing like showing them in real life, right? So Leah, if you just have, want to introduce yourself, talk about, just how we came about and just in general, why is owning a home important to you?
Yeah, so like I said, my name is Aaliyah. I learned about this through a mutual party, Derek, who I used to work with. He's awesome. And it's important to me because I realized that my immediate family, no one has owned, and my parents were veterans. And they never owned a home. We just went from apartment to apartment to apartment. And I was just like, I'm finishing grad school and I like projects. So I'm like, okay, what am I going to do next? Been in school all my life and I'm like, what's next? And I'm like, oh, I'm in an apartment and it'd be nice to, break, I don't want to call it a generational curse, but, breaking out of the generational norms. We had like my mother's mother, she didn't own, so I'm like, maybe we branch out into something different and have something that's mine. Because right now I'm living in something that's not even mine. I don't own anything. So it's like, maybe I should work on it. On something. So yeah.
That is, that is probably the biggest part, right? Because, you're not telling me you have this vision of this beautiful home, the fences. It's like you're bringing in the elements that I want people to understand. Like you're talking about what it means for you, like your mom, your family, generation. What does my legacy look like, right? This is what they did. Nothing wrong with it, but what am I going to do, to further our legacy? So, and those are the kind of elements that I look for in people, because this journey is not, just easy cookie cutter thing, right? You can't do it. It's going to be some wins. It's going to be some loss. It's going to be some sacrifices, but the overall outcome of home ownership is transformational, right? I can speak to it because, again, I didn't have anything. It took me forever to get to a point where I own a home, or what that meant. Like for me, for my mom, it wasn't about owning a home. It was just getting a safe place for her kids. Like that was her owning right there. Like, and that was so impactful to us. But, I saw so many elements outside of just a safe home. I'm like, wow, this is like, I just felt the difference in the house. I felt the difference in my family, the stress level, sense of pride. And I just never forgot it. Right. So, and I've always been on this journey too, because I knew how hard it was. Look, I made a lot of mistakes too. And now, but I could then, now because the affordability was much different then. Right. You could have a decent job and still be a homeowner. Now you got to have like 2, 3 jobs, it's just wild, like how fast it went. But what I don't want is people like yourself to just miss out, because it's still attainable, but you got to be really strategic in how you're doing. So for me, we'll start it off with just kind of what we have done in the first step. So for everyone out there listening, so we met at a property a couple months ago. And it was a big, 14, 15 people. Everybody want to own homes. But just like I told the group, the minute things start to get commitment on your side, a lot of people are going to drop off, right? That's natural. It happens every single time. So that's why I really, I slow walk in the beginning, because I want to see who's really there. Because if you see me for 1 week and you're saying, let's buy a house today, and you ain't did any of these steps, then, that's just not going to work. And I'm not going to give people false hope. That's not what I do. That's worse than anything, right? What I will do is give you a realistic approach to how to get you a home, right? And that time is based on how you do and the things that we do together to kind of accelerate that thing. So, and this is very typical, right? Someone that's in school, I think you said, right? Getting a master's. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is
Getting
correct.
a master's, which is awesome. And just working, I think you're working different jobs, just trying to be a student, just trying to, just win, just get it together, right?
Yeah.
All important elements that bankers don't like, right? And because life is still happening to you. Banks, they like security, they like safe. It's funny how they do that, right? They don't want to let any money to risk, right? They want to, change that. So one of my go-to for anybody, this is anybody listening, like one of the best programs I start with. So I put people in 2 different buckets. Either, you're close, meaning that you only need a couple pieces and a little more time. Then we have some really good strategic lending partners that, local base, they do, they get you in a down payment assistance. We can tie all that stuff together. That's for people that can move pretty much in the next 3 months or so. But for people that may need a little longer, a little more runway, year maybe, right? Just depends. One of the greatest mortgages that I had the opportunity to utilize myself was NACA, right? So, and NACA is like I said, I'm a believer in NACA for 2 reasons. If you just read their website, you understand the genesis of what they do, right? They've been fighting for this right, for you to have a home ownership ever since their inception, right? Just overall, they take it serious, right?
Yeah.
They take it serious. And the second part is, well, if you look at that starting, let's keep it the first place. You're talking about 100% mortgage, which, look, they have never changed that. People had changed their mortgage type. They have the same mortgage, the same, no closing cost, or very little, if not no PMI. These are all things that block people from home ownership, right? And they have waived that. They're a nonprofit, and they have a great product. The second reason why I put it out, because I have the mortgage, right? That was our first mortgage. It was so good, I still got it to this day, right? And you're talking about somebody who owned a home. Now I'm in real estate development, got several homes I'm working through in renovation, but I have a NACA mortgage. So I don't do nothing that I haven't tried myself. So with all that being said, let's talk about it. So I said, look, there's, I normally put these events on, but I can see NACA now is doing them via virtual a virtual Zoom link. I said, I think you need to do it. Of course, you signed up. So tell me how that experience was for you.
It went really well. I joined and they had this very wonderful PowerPoint, and they started off the meeting with a video just going through their history. And I really enjoyed that, because from someone that knows nothing about the program, didn't know anything about who they were, what they did, I enjoyed, and really appreciated the fact that they started it off with the video, because it told me a lot that they've been around for a while.
Right.
That this is not new. They've been fighting it. And I'm just like, all these things that were happening that I had no idea were even going on. So I was like, wow. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that. And then they, went through the rest of the process and kind of explained, how they help, what they do, what to expect, what they don't do. Because they were saying, like, we don't help you buy land, but we help you with how, just going through the ins and outs of what they do. So, what to expect, what they do. And it was very informative. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing, like, it's important to know why people are doing the things they do, right? It's a lot of organizations that say they help. And the problem with that is they don't, it's not that they don't mean, like they're not willing to help, but they don't have that grit ingrained in them. They're like, no, we're going to go through this. Like, and that's why I pair well with NACA, because it's going to be barriers. Like we're not sugarcoating anything, right? But that don't mean it can't happen. And a lot of the times when you go to some of these organizations, hey, we help, we do coaching or whatever else, it's very surface. It's very surface. And the minute you hit to a real problem, and then it's like, oh, you just wait, and like we ain't, like that's not helping anyone. Like, what can we be doing in this meantime to really position ourselves? So NACA is a great organization. They understand. I don't want to say us, right? They understand the barriers we have, and we just need to, get it. So with them, it's not that you can't. It's just a matter of time. Once they get you in line with their metrics and get, that really for them, it's more like they want to make sure that you can take care of that payment. That's the biggest thing. That's bigger than credit. That's bigger than debt to income. That's bigger than any of these other barriers. They're going to come up with a number. It could be 1,500. It could be whatever that number is. And that is what they're going to be a stickler on, not because they're trying to limit you. They're trying to make sure whatever you get, you can afford and don't be a prisoner of that property. So I have all these battles sometimes with certain people because they want to go above and beyond what they can pay for, right? But you want to, when you buy a home, A, it's a home, but B, you got to start thinking about it as an asset. That's what I teach people, right? And you don't want something that's going to be bringing you down, right? You don't want something that is going to be, oh God, if something happens now, what do I do? And we can't live above means. Now, this is literally a stepping stone for you to do whatever you want in life. You're young, you're just getting your master's. Is a good time of life for you, right? This is a great piece, and it sounds like you want to be. I'm assuming still somewhere in Delaware. You got an idea around that, and it's a great opportunity. So let's talk about. Okay, we got past the video, got some history. You saw my man up there fighting, justice. Yeah. He almost got get arrested in some of these places. Oh, Bruce, my main man, Bruce. But overall, because this is new for me, before you had to go to a live on site, which can be hard because once they put it out there, it fills up immediately, right? So once you got past that stuff, and they got into actually like some of the things that you would need to do. Walk me through some of that stuff and just kind of some of the notes or just thoughts you had about what you need to do to go forward.
So one of the things that kind of stuck out to me, because again I'm new to this, is it is a very invasive process. There's a lot that they need to know. You got to get them access to your bank statements, your tax. They're going to question you about why you had a $10 deposit. Where did it come from? And I'm like, oh, wow. That's it didn't scare me off. But I was like, okay, all right. It was just like, okay, this is what we're going to have to do. Okay. Right. And which is no problem for me because I don't want to get money from my jobs. So.
But let's put a pin in that because that is a really big deterrent for people. And that's just not you. It's anyone. Like when you open up your life to someone like that, and they're like really looking at everything you're doing. And a lot of the times, people like ourselves is my point of view when I speak. Is for a lot of years we're shamed by some of that stuff, right? We know it ain't right. We don't want everybody to know about it, right? It's just like, hey, but that's part of growth. That's that uncomfortable feeling you gotta have. But it also lets you know that. This is what I got to deal with. Like, I know it's there, but, I just kind of been putting it. But now this really puts it out front. Like, all right, if I really want to do this, I have to go through this, right? Mm-hmm. So that's really good. So this is why I love to be in this space because that is something someone can feel right now. They were like, that's what I feel, girl. I knew it. So, okay. We're uncomfortable at first, but we understand we got to put these documents in place. So kind of what else happens on this as you're going on this journey with them?
So it's that they're telling me that, it's very important to get all the documents uploaded. And you and I had kind of talked about that a little bit before. So I kind of was like, okay, I understand. I was able to connect the dots and the pieces. And they were saying that, it's important to have those prior to meeting with the council you're assigned to, because there's very little they can do if you don't have everything. which made sense to me. And I was like, okay, so don't, because I don't like wasting time. So I was like, okay, let me
Love
make sure
that
I
about
don't,
you. Love it.
because I'm like, if it's gonna waste my time, I don't want to do it. So I'm like, okay, make sure I have everything lined up before meeting with them. I'm like, okay, cool, I can do that. It gives me something to work on, gives me something to build on, and then have that meeting with them, because I don't like feeling like I didn't finish something. So I'm like, let me make sure that's all put in place before that meeting, and then I can be like, okay, I did my part.
Right. And think about it, just for the couple of hours you spent on that day, you learned a lot, right? You learned a
Yeah.
lot about their, just the process in general. Again, they're not a organization just going to hide and say, "Here's what I need from you," because they know their
Mm-hmm.
end product, right? They're saying, "Look,
Mm-hmm.
look, we got the best thing in the business for you right now. If this is something you really want, it's here. But you got to do a little work, and nothing wrong with that, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with it. And unfortunately, I've again, people that are first generational, like myself, is like, this is why I'm drawn to this work, because I hear every reason for you not to go buy a home. I mean, I hear it all. Oh, this, it's this area. Oh, this is that. But it's just like, but you literally will live in that rent. Give
Right.
somebody else that money in that area, and you will stay there 5, 10 more years after you talk to me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and that's part of what I want us to bring people like you, because a lot of it is going to be reframing how we do it. We are not, 20 years ago when you can go work for one little place and you're going to be there for 20 years and you can buy a home and you can start a family. Like, unfortunately, we're not there anymore. We have moved, right? And I like just keep it 100 with people. Like, we got to pick up the pace. And a lot of the stuff that I feel that we're learning in just the traditional home buying courses is not efficient anymore. It's not meant for where we're going now. We got to get into being comfortable, right? Knowing where we're at. But B, we got to talk about how we make more money, right? You have got to figure out ways so you're not just just trapped with one stream of income, right? I heard someone say one stream is too close to zero, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest fear with ownership. Is like, oh, if this happened, what I do then? If that happened, So when I teach people, I'm like, look, let's start talking about this stuff right now. Like, let's get to it. Let's figure out what your plans are, your life plans are, and make sure it aligns with what you're doing. Because if you can say, look, I have my master, maybe one day I want to do, start my own practice or something, business, on, whatever. That may say, okay, that's cool. Then that may tell me where you want to live at, right? Or that may be saying like, oh, well, how do I help her, right? Do that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then like these are the things that we do at Pursuit Dawn, like really trying to figure out how to help you, not just like just because you own a home, that it doesn't stop there. Like you don't say, whoa, that's it, generational wealth, we're here, baby. It doesn't work like that. It's over time, but what it does for you is give you such a foundation to opportunities, because it is just different. Like you're gonna feel it yourself. Like you're making transactions now. You go through applications. I'm sure they say, "Do you own a home?" Right? And then you don't, and then you get put in this other box, right? That means, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this person don't have a lot of assets. She's risky. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be talking to the same people. You're the same Aaliyah, right? Credit score be a
Mm-hmm.
little better, whatever you want to, right? But you're the same person doing the same thing. But you got a house now. They're gonna treat you 10 times better
Mm-hmm.
solely because you have an asset, and that's the part people don't understand because they never felt it,
Mm-hmm.
right? They never felt the difference. When you walk in the bank, then what they're looking at, wow, this is a person that I can build a partnership with, because I got services she's going to need now. Oh, she's going to need insurance for the house. Oh, she's going to be looking to, purchase some things in the house. She's going to, what I mean? Like, like they see somebody they can work with. When you rent somewhere, it's no commitment to that. Like it's no commitment to them. Like you this place tomorrow, they can't build a relationship because now you have a home. They know you're gonna at least maybe you're gonna be in this community, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the most part. So these are all the back things that people don't think about, right? When they happen. And this is why I'm like, I try to put it on Front Street. So when you make that decision, you are incorporating all that, right? Because when
Mm-hmm.
it gets a little tough, which it always does, but you got to wake up the next day and find that one reason why you need to keep going. But you're at a very you took action, and that's again you're from 14 to 1, and like I said, you understand what we're building here at Pursuit On too. Like I want you to be one of the first people. Like, she's in our ecosystem. Look what she did. Look what she
Mm-hmm.
did. And you know what's going to happen? All those 15 people that was, saying they was ready to go, they're going to be doing the
Right.
same exact thing. Watch.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like to record stuff, because they can be doing the same thing,
Yeah.
right? Because the pathway to home ownership is it's the same. It's
Mm-hmm.
just the strategy and how you use it, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just, it's just what it is. So we did the class. We did the class.
Mm-hmm.
Doing good. Were there any opportunities for people to ask questions? Did you hear any questions?
There were some typed in, but as we went along, they answered because they had said, "Please save your questions in it because we'll probably end up answering," and they did. So,
Right.
yeah.
And quite honestly, for my person that actually put these on, like that way is a very, very efficient way to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Zoom, because this is really the introduction, letting you know what we're about. Or do you want to commit to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people, like you said, they run, oh, they're going to really check my bank account.
Yeah.
Look, you're getting a loan,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you're getting a loan, yes, they're going to know. They want to know if you can repay. If you
Mm-hmm.
think that is, is too much for you, then it's not going to happen for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have that space, and then, like I said, for me, now one of the things they do that I'm probably going to attend this year is, like, they do one of these huge Achieve the Dreams events. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they do them at like huge like conventions, but that's when people are like ready. Even like yourself, right? You're going through this process. Let's just say your counselor meeting, you had that initial one, and they were like, "All right, we'll meet back up in 4 months." But you've been grinding, you got everything together, and they have one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people can literally go there with all their documents and say, "Boom, let's go. Let's see if we can make this thing happen." So it's a lot of things you can do, but you have to get in it. But all right, let's get to. We have people don't want to, scared to let people in their financial life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing people got to get through, right?
Yeah.
Second thing is, you did the free workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Then they send you a link saying, all right, to be a part of NACA, there's what is the fee now? 29, 30, what is it?
It's like 35 or something,
35.
but it's a year, and I'm like, 35 years not bad.
Yeah,
Not
when I
bad
did
at
it
all.
was like 29. So that just tell you, and I did that like a decade ago, right? So all right, $35. Now you wouldn't believe, or you probably would believe, but I've had people that told me for like 6 months they are ready for home ownership. They're ready, right? Sign me up, coach. Put me in the game. We do all of this. I get them in a NACA code. Again, it used to be very hard to get people in. We go through this. They get the email, and I hear nothing else from the people. So you're telling me, because you had to pay $35 on yourself, you're betting on yourself. You're not betting
Yeah.
on Chris. You're not betting on NACA. This is your investment in you. You let $35 stop you from home ownership. And again, you're gonna know me by it, right? I'm not here to convince anybody. Like, that is not my job. But if you are committed, I'm your guy. But when people do that, that tells me right away, like, how can you possibly not invest $35 in yourself, but you're asking a bank to give you $200,000, $250,000. You're asking the state to give you $15,000 in down payment assistance. You won't give yourself $30. You're not even giving yourself $35. So I like to bring those out, because those are the 2 points I lose a lot of people, which you have got past, right? So as you stated, $35, and they give you the portal, or they send you a confirmation, give you a number. Now you're in there. Like, you're a
Yep.
part of the NACA team at this point, right? So you're getting all the communications, you get to see some of the workshop. They have a ton of educational information on their website. It's just free. Just free, right? It's no secret to what they're doing. The whole thing is getting you to the point where you can get to a number that they can feel comfortable with loaning with, right? And again, it's not based on the houses in my area of 350, or it's based on what can you pay, right?
Right.
So now you have that. So the next thing would be the portal. Have you had a chance to sign up and get in there and play around with it?
So I did. I signed up. I played around a little bit, and I looked at the documents that are required, so that I had an idea of, okay, this is what they're looking for, and I can start, working on some of those things. And I did, and I even learned some things. I think it's like a transcript from your
Yeah,
taxes. I'm like, I didn't even know.
yeah.
I'm like,
If
oh,
you don't
okay.
got that, yeah, if you don't have your, you can get a transcript. You didn't file your taxes yet in this time, right? It's just again,
I never needed to do anything with that, so I'm like, oh, okay.
right. But
But it
but
was
but
easy to
you
find.
but you're describing like you're taking the steps. Like that's what people don't understand. Like you are learning as you go. I can go tell you all this stuff, but if I would have told you, oh, you can get a transcript, I would have told you. But it's not like you identified this is what I'm like, what is this? I gotta go figure out. Now you know it forever. Right? But anyway, you learned, right? You need a transcript and just in general, I think that's good. Like breathe. They asking for a lot. It feels invasive. Breathe and
Hmm.
just start slowly, putting them together, right?
Right.
Because if you ever own anything, right, these are the documents you're going to use. They're not asking you for anything that any other lender is not going to ask you for, right? Matter of
Hmm.
fact, they ask you for less
Mm.
because for them, they understand if you have any gaps in employment, if you have, I think you got you working a couple different jobs, right? Right?
So yeah.
Yeah, but they understand. They can see that you're a student. But you're in the same industry, right? You're doing the things that are
Hmm.
in your ecosystem, so they can see how like A, it may not be the same employer, but B, it's the same industry. The
Hmm.
goal is to create continuity, right? They need to be able to because your loan get underwritten like everybody else loan, right? It's no
Hmm.
no secret to it. So that's why I try to tell people like don't get discouraged like when you see that stuff because hopefully once you're on this track, you graduate. Is May, right?
June 1st. I graduate June 1st.
June 1st. I might
June
have to
1st, I
show up.
walk across the stage.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I might have to be in
Yeah.
Delaware. Congratulations on that, man. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank
Um,
you.
but then that's gonna give you some time back to really sit back and like, okay, now, and once you walk across that stage, you just became more valuable, right? That's the whole
Hmm.
point of going back to school, right? So then you get to, like you say, you still figuring it out over the summer, like kind of where you going, and right now you land a job that you don't have to work three. Maybe you can, one is good enough, and with something on the side or something like that.
I got free jobs. Yeah. I didn't waste any time. I started applying and yeah, I started applying right away. As soon as I finished that last class, resume. I was applying and I landed three
Oh,
jobs. I already did the orientation. I got an every other weekend job, 8 to 4 job, and a job from 5 to 9.
wow.
Because I already
See,
knew I was like, I'm gonna need that income. I'm gonna need to be able to get everything in order because I know there are things that financially weren't right, but I had to cut back because I had to do internship and I had to finish school. But now that school is done, I'm in action again. So I wasted no time.
I'm telling you, you are like, I love it. You're going to do great. You're going to do great and you're going to do great with us. And mind you, for everybody out there listening, that wasn't me calling and telling her to do all this stuff. This is someone who identified this is what I want. Now,
Mhm.
if you give me somebody that says they're going to put that effort in, I can get you there faster, right? What I can't do is convince you that, hey, you need to do this. Hey,
Mhm.
why haven't you did this? Like, that's not what it's about. I'm goal oriented, just like you. Like, I had a little brief military, with the from the academy that I didn't get into the services. I played football, but it stuck to me. It still is to this day. It's like, here's the objective. How do we execute? I still think that way now. Like everything else doesn't
Mhm.
matter, right? It's just how do we get to the outcome,
Mhm.
right? At the end of the day. But I truly appreciate and admire that about you, right? Because this is not just buying a home. You're gonna be doing this in life, like when things
Mhm.
go whatever. Like you're gonna apply those same, strategies and tactics that getting you through this to home ownership. And we're gonna try to again try to not to make this long because I would like to keep us doing this. Hopefully, if not weekly, bi-weekly, so we can keep building out, finding out some things that someone like yourself is going through. Where you be like, oh, you know what would have been good if if I had this. Is these are some of the things that we're trying to come out and provide for you. So we're at the point now. We're in the portal. We know some of the documentation we got to put up, and then the next huge milestone will be when they assign you a counselor, right?
Mhm.
So when they assign you a counselor, I just want you to know, I think we talked about this before, those people have a lot of volume, meaning they have a
Mhm.
lot of clients,
Mhm.
right? They have a lot of clients. That's why it is important to have everything in there. It's no reason to hold things back, thinking they're gonna ask you for it, right? It's going,
Right.
it's going to happen, right? So I seen people put half the stuff in there they don't want to address. I seen people, whatever reason, right, just not prepared. But that affects your time and more than anything. Because what's going to happen is the minute you have that meeting, right, which is typically, once you do that 2-3 months out, right, again, give you time to source this information, to think about how you're going to go through it. You have that meeting. Now, if everything's in there, whether you are, think it's great or not, it's in there. Now they can build you the plan for you. They don't want to guess, right? They don't want to guess what you do. They need to know so they can say, all right, mind you, they've seen this stuff over and over again. This ain't, they've seen Aaliyah's all their careers, right? So what they're gonna do is boom, boom, boom. They can like, okay, you're gonna need about 4 months. Oh, you're gonna need about 6. Oh, you're gonna need about 8. I need you to do X, Y, Z. But what I'm telling you is they're pretty good at giving you that time frame, right? Because they're telling you, when can we get you to the point where we can get you underwritten in our program? And they're good. You just got to follow the path, right? And these things are not unreasonable. But again, that's where we lose people. Partially, the thing you also going to be told a lot of is like, you got to watch spending habits right now, right? They probably went over payment shock. If they haven't, that's a big thing. So payment shock is, again, finding that something you can afford, but they don't want you, if you went from $1,000 rent to a $2,000 mortgage, right? They don't want you to do that, right? Because that's not, it's not a good idea, and people get frustrated with that. But again, think about what you're saying. You're going to double your obligations in that month you're just starting off. Like, that's just not the best thing to do. So that's a lot of friction there. But again, that's what you got to figure out. What is your sweet spot? Here's the income I'm making, and here's what we're doing. And also, when you get to that point, they give you like another 2 or 3 months, and they will pretty much tell you, all right, the next meeting is what we're going to do, like what they call like a underwriting meeting, right? So that you do your initial one, and then that second one, that is when they're going to be like, oh, you got 60 days or you got 120 days, like, and then once you get to that point, you just naturally improve. Right? Because you're doing the work, you're being a good steward. They don't want to see a big, don't go buy a car or nothing right now if you ain't got to, or nothing, nothing wild, no big trips, anything, just anything that, and like sacrifice this year so you can have a lot of, time in the future. You ain't got to worry about this stuff. But people do it, right? They say, hey, I need you to be in this budget. I need you to save, I don't know, $100 a month. Again, it ain't even about the money. It's about you building the habit. That's what they want. They want you to build a habit, because at the end, when you're doing this stuff, that money is still yours. It's not like in a traditional mortgage where you're saving for the down payment, you're saving for closing costs, all this stuff, and they spend it. I mean, I've seen people get just to the point where they got like $1 over just to close, and what happens the next day? They ain't got any money, right? Now you know. Work 2 years or whatever that time frame is to save the money, get yourself in position, and then all of it's gone the moment you close, and you got a mortgage. Now you got all these different things coming at you, right? This is again why I steer people there, because what they're saying is, we're gonna give you the best habits, but we're not gonna have you broke when you close on the house. Again, like, if people, I don't know why people don't take, man. People need to take advantage of this. It's a great product. But we're gonna close out. I mean, do you have any questions just about kind of what you have, what to expect next? I'm here for you for sure, because I'm excited. And what's even more exciting is I can already envision. I got homes and stuff I'm buying. That's gonna be probably in your time frame. I'm like, man, this could be a magical moment. So I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited as well. That's why I've been applying and I got the jobs, because I'm like, no one's going to go out and give it to me. I got to earn it. So, and I know a big piece of that is I'm struggling on one income. So I got to go get some more income. But the beauty of that and being a therapist is I can do that and work different places and have different sources of income. So that's the beauty of the field. But no, I'm pretty clear on what I need to do. It is a lot that they ask for, but I kind of view it as another assignment. When I got a really big assignment and they're asking for a lot, I'm gonna look at it, then I'm gonna put it away for a second, digest it,
Right.
come
You're a
back to
therapist,
it.
right? You know how to like bring it in.
Right. Then I'm gonna come back. We're gonna adjust this first. We're not gonna look at the bottom half yet. We're just gonna look at this part, fix that, and then move on piece by piece. So that's how I'm gonna attack it. So
That is great advice, and like I said, that's why we're doing it, because we can try to figure out things for other people. Like for me, when I hear you say that, I'm just thinking about all the other people that are confronting that, honestly. Like, and these are, I bring it up because again, those small things like that stop people, right? They self-sabotage. I hate to say it because that's what we know, right? We're so disappointed in a lot of things, and like we just expect the worst. Like, why am I even gonna do this? This ain't gonna work anyway. I know it, been through it, right? But it's important to have people around you that actually believe in you, right? People that done it. And that's why I really like to do this stuff personally. Like, I don't put this on someone else to do. Like, I'm like, nah, I want to do this. Like, I want to talk to her, right? Because again, I've been there and done it, and that means a lot. So I appreciate you spending the Saturday with me. It's a beautiful day out. I'm very encouraged about where we're going. We have more work to do, but you're the right type of person. And like I said, we will probably be doing this on a weekly, if not bi-weekly, to make sure you're, in line, and also making sure I can bring more value, every step of the way, and do anything I can to help you on your bigger goals in life too. So, this has been awesome. I thank you, and we will talk soon.
okay, thank you so much for having me.
Oh man, this is awesome. Thank you for listening to the Pursuit to Own podcast. If today's episode inspired you, don't stop here. Take the next step toward owning your future. Visit pursuitToOwn.com to sign up and join our growing community of wealth builders. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Pursuit to Own for updates, tips, and success stories. Together, we're turning dreams into assets. Until next time, stay in pursuit.